Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Modern Horizons 2 draft. Now, today, we've opened up a pack with Murktide Regent, which I believe currently is a $35 card. I've not seen anybody using this card anywhere yet, but I've also been living under a rock, trying to make food work, and it wasn't working. So I'm going to just do another limited draft because I don't have time to brew another deck right this second. So let's see. This synergizes with instants and sorcery cards exiled with it. Whenever an instant or sorcery card leaves your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on Murktide Regent. I don't know which archetype this fits into, or if it does, but that is the card I'm going to reserve. My guess is probably blue-red Delirium, but I just drafted that. There's a Diamond Lion. So we want powerful instants and sorceries to go with our Murktide Regent. I think I'm going to try and make it work in Delirium, or maybe the control. I haven't drafted the blue-black control deck yet. There's only one black card in this pack, probably because somebody took one. I don't think Diamond Lion is actually good. It's a nice reference to Lion's Eye Diamond, but obviously not on the same power level. So yeah, I'll take Tragic Fall. Okay. So in this pack, we've got Archfiend of Sorrows and Bone Shredder. Now, Archfiend of Sorrows is actually really good. I've seen it take out a ton of stuff whenever my opponent plays it, but of course I've been playing a lot of aggro decks in this format. I think I take Archfiend of Sorrows. It is unlikely that we're playing any Reanimator shenanigans. And Bone Shredder, while it is a great removal spell, I think the Archfiend of Sorrows is slightly higher value. Okay, in this pack, there's another Tragic Fall. There's a Prismatic Ending and a Seal of Removal. There's Said and Done. Said and Done is nice, but I think I'm going to take the hard removal in the form of Tragic Fall. So if I'm drafting blue-black, blue-black is payoffs for discarding your own cards. That's literally what the archetype does. Is Resurgent Belief worth anything? I don't think it is. It's worth a couple of tickets. I think we take Greed here. Greed is just a really, really powerful effect. And I think there's a couple of black lifelink cards. I don't think there's a lot of ways for us to gain life. So it might be better in the black-white deck than whatever we're playing right now, but it is very strong, so I'm going to take it. Okay, I do like Recalibrate. This is one of the payoff cards for this deck. What am I passing up on to take it? Hellmongrel, Tormod's Cryptkeeper. Somebody who's playing Squirrels is probably going to be happy. Another Recalibrate. Dihada's Ploy. So I've seen Dihada's Ploy actually wheel a few times. Oh, Mystic Redaction is a card that, it's supposed to be a payoff card for the control deck. There's also a Scourge Familiar, which is an enabler. I have not seen anybody take this card, but I know if I don't take it, someone will. I'm going to take Dihada's Ploy. Something from that pack should come around to us. Scourge Familiar. We can just discard a card to add black mana. I think I'm going to take World Weary. The deck that I'm trying to build is a control deck, so exploits. When this exploits a creature, destroy a creature you don't control with mana value 3 or less. We have no creatures to exploit. That probably still means we take this because it's a big creature, but I'm going to take Recalibrate. I actually really like this card because, like, even if you don't cycle anything or discard a card at all, just Disperse in this format has been very good. Shattered Ego or Fodder Tosser. I think I have to take a Fodder Tosser. Okay, we'll take the Curator because I don't think we play the Dermotaxi. I like Said and Done. I would not mind having a Lose Focus. I don't think we play Floodhound. Specimen Collector creates a bunch of tokens. I think I'm just going to take Resurgent Belief for the sideboard. Echoing Return and the other card are unlikely for me to play. We get a third Recalibrate. Alright, well then. I will take Persist. I think this card is good, and I think Persist definitely makes a Reanimator deck viable in Modern. It is only a couple of tickets, but I think it actually fits in this deck quite well. So Lucid Dreams, draw X cards, where X is the number of card types among cards in your graveyard. Interesting. Radiant Epicure is also a decent card. It's harder to make work because you have to have more colors in your deck, and I have no fixing yet, but I'm going to take Persist, because like we could potentially reanimate a big creature. Just incidentally, not as part of the primary game plan. We have to really start taking creatures, though. Okay, so in this pack, there's Piru the Volatile, who we would only be able to cast if we persisted it. Actually, we can't, because it's legendary. Never mind. This means I'm taking Vermingorger or Loathsome Curator. Or lose focus? I really need creatures, though. I guess I'll take the Vermingorger because it is a 2-drop. Man, Arcus Acolyte is really good. Another Dihada's ploy. That's what the game wants me to take. I think I gotta take the Legion Vanguard or the Sea Drake. So Sea Drake, like, kind of reloads my hand with cards to discard. And it is a 3-mana 4/3. But every time I've had an opponent cast this card, I think I've beaten them. So I'm gonna take the Legion Vanguard. Fire and Ice or Sudden Edict. If I can get a single red dual land, I would take Fire and Ice. I need creatures so bad, though. So I'm gonna take Guiltblade Prowler. Yeah, we're gonna take Guiltblade Prowler. All right. In this pack, there's a Dihada's Ploy or a Sinister Starfish. I'll take the Starfish. I imagine at least one of the Dihada's Ploys going around in this pack comes back to us. Sinister Starfish is also really good. It blocks really well against the aggressive decks in this format, and during my Reanimator video, if I ended up putting that one up, it helped us dig through like 30 cards. Like, it was ridiculous how many cards we were digging through our deck. We just never found what we were looking for. Okay, what do we got here? Eve, Progenitor Ooze. It's got Storm, isn't legendary if it's a token, and there's a battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each other ooze you control. That's pretty sick. It's too bad I'm not in green, though. I think I have to take Aeromoeba. Yeah, I gotta take Aeromoeba. There's a Floodhound. I kind of want to take the Floodhound because it represents repeated card draw. I'll take the Loathsome Curator. Alright, so there's a Scuttletide. I mean, this can buy a lot of time. It's a frequent discard outlet, and eventually we can just kill our opponent with 1/4 crabs, maybe? I don't know that we have a ton of different different permanent types, though. I don't know if we're going to turn on Delirium. Lucid Dreams, I think, is nice. I already have Greed. I'll take Foul Watcher. I'm not going to play 3 Loathsome Curators, so I'll take a Lose Focus. Dihada's Ploy. I think I will take Seal of Removal. I could take Goldmire Bridge, actually. I don't need just an unsummon. We don't have a bunch of creatures with the same name, so take Goldmire Bridge. I'll take another Dihada's Ploy. I guess I'll put a Marble Gargoyle in the sideboard and a Steelfin Will that I'm probably not playing. Pack 3. What do we got? So in this pack, we've got Chrome Courier, which actually in a deck like this would not be too bad. It's just a 3-mana 1/1 that blocks and can draw us a card. And it's not bad if I get another bridge or 2 that's on color, because we're looking for upgrades at this point. We don't have a lot of creatures to sack to the Vanguard. Break Ties is a really nice effect. I'm not playing another Loathsome Curator. I could play Kitchen Imp, because I'm discarding a number of cards off of, like, you know, different cards that I have. Just a random flyer might be enough. I'll take the Kitchen Imp. In this pack, I already have just about everything from this pack I want. I'm going to take another Archfiend of Sorrows, because I think this card's very good. It's something we're pretty comfortable discarding early, and if we persist it, it's great. Okay. Another Guiltblade Prowler. I think I've got to take this because it's a great creature. There's another Arcus Acolyte. That's like 4 or 5 that I've seen now, it feels like. I think it's probably closer to 3, but still. I'll take the Prowler, just because like it can really help us reload our hand if we discard anything. I don't think I'm playing a second Greed. I can play another World Weary. Vidalcan Infiltrator I have no way to make good. Foul Watcher would be fine. I'm not splashing red for any reason. So yeah, I'll take the World Weary. I can't play a 4th Recalibrate, I don't think. I'm probably not even playing 3. Lazotep Chancellor is a great Dimir-colored payoff for discarding cards, so we'll take it. It is both a creature and it makes more creatures. Let's see. Dress Down, Zurin Orb, Burdened Aerialist, Discerning Taste. I think the Aerialist or Step Through is probably our best card. Lazotep Chancellor is a wizard, so this technically does tutor for a wizard. I don't think we have a lot of other wizards, or really any at all. Oh, we have Gorgon Wizards, and a dragon. I'll take the Step Through. Alright, we've got an on-color artifact land, which I think I have to take. I'm not going to be playing a Sea Drake. Almost positive. So, Breathless Night would kind of be fun, especially because we have Persist and a couple of gigantic Unearthed Demons, but it's going to be too hard with just one card that can splash for it. And I think we have to run Goldmire Bridge as a tapped swamp, because we do have a couple of things that measure Delirium. Or at least we do as long as... it might just actually be Scuttletide. Vile Entomber can get the Demon, and just putting one of those in the grave is not bad. This is a creature, and this has Death Touch, so we can really, like, kind of attrition our way out of this. Batterbone, on the other hand, is a way to gain life, and we do have huge creatures that we can equip it to. Comes down early. I think I'm actually going to take the Batterbone here. Parcelmere, Lose Focus, or a Loathsome Curator. I think I've got to take the Parcelmere just to have access to enough cheap creatures if I need them. Mental Journey, Vermingorger, Hard Evidence, or Said and Done. I already have a Said and Done. Hard Evidence is not bad, but I think I've got to take Mental Journey. It's an instant, it cycles for a land, draws a bunch of cards at the top end. I'll take a Hellmongrel. There's another discard outlet. I'll take a Foul Watcher, because I really can't ever play a second Greed. Not in a limited deck. Chrome Courier can splash only one thing off of, so I guess I'll just take the full playset of Recalibrate. Discerning Taste? Maybe. And Glimmerbairn. So Discerning Taste, we can stick our like Loathsome Curators or Demons into the grave if we don't want them. Helps us dig. It doesn't count as discarding, though. So I think it was pretty clear that blue and black were open. The question is, did I pick the right cards when they showed up? So we need to cut a couple of creatures here. I think we need to keep our couple of Madness creatures we got. Probably don't need Parcelmere. Legion Vanguard, I think I'm going to cut as well. We just don't have enough creatures to sack to it. Okay, I'm going to try playing only 2 Recalibrates to start. Probably a Dihada's Ploy at most. So we can use Step Through to cycle for Chancellor or the Curators. I'm going to cut the Scuttletide, which means I'm not going to play the Goldmire Bridge. Actually, maybe I should, because I have Vermingorger. That is a consistent source of creatures. Lose Focus is better in this deck than some of my other decks, because we do have some instant speed answers and cards we want to cast. So Batterbone is actually a creature, at least for the way that I consider cards like this. And I want a lot of instants and sorceries. I'm going to play just one Loathsome Curator. Don't think I need the Step Through because I have better hard removal. I can get away without Fodder Tosser. So I have a number of cards that actually just cycle. Oh, maybe I do want Fodder Tosser because of like the Chancellor and the Guiltblade Prowlers. Because without it, I don't have a consistent source of discard. I don't know. Maybe this card is actually really good because I keep dying to it. Okay, I'm going to drop the Starfish. I can bring it in versus aggro. I mean, but that's what I have Scuttletide for, right? It's just this deals direct damage. Alright. I think I'm going to cut Mental Journey and a World Weary to lower the curve some. So Murktide Regent hopefully can help carry us by just making a huge dragon really quick. Okay, between Scuttletide, Fodder Tosser, and Aeromoeba, I need to cut one of them. And if I'm cutting one of them, I think it's Fodder Tosser. I think I'm going to cut one Foul Watcher as well. So I'm kind of going to be learning on the fly here with what cards are good in this deck and what cards aren't. And we're going to, like, because we have more removal, we have some extra creatures, and we have more card draw and another discard outlet. So whichever cards we feel like we're lacking, we should have in the sideboard to help make up for my abysmal deck construction skills. I'll see you guys in round 1. Alrighty, round 1. And we're going to keep this hand. Opponent leads on a Forest, suspending a Rift Sower. We draw Kitchen Imp, play an island, pass the turn. Rift Sower ticking down. They play an island. They suspend another Rift Sower. We untap and draw Vermingorger. Let's play Foul Watcher here, Surveil. I don't think we want another Recalibrate, so we're going to stick that in the grave. Pass the turn. Okay. One Rift Sower ticks down to 1, the other one comes off Suspend. Opponent plays an island, they have access to 4 mana this turn. Okay, opponent plays a Ghostlight Drifter. We untap. Draw Swamp. Play the island. Play Guiltblade Prowler. Pass the turn. Okay. So Rift Sower comes off Suspend. I'm tapping for 6. For Mental Journey, draw on 3 cards. They attack us for 2. No block. We untap and draw a swamp. Play a swamp. Let's play an Amoeba. Go to combat and attack for 2. They untap. They play a land. They play Ignoble Hierarch. They play a Wave Sifter. They get some clues. Then they pass. We draw Tragic Fall. So play a swamp. Go to combat. Ditch Kitchenette. Madness. Attack in the air. Okay, opponent blocks with Wave Sifter. Changes their mind. They're gonna take 6. Okay. I'm gonna recalibrate and make them pick up, I guess, a Rift Sower here. We draw Scuttletide, and we'll pass the turn. We'll leave up Tragic Fall. I like Tragic Fall, both the flavor and the flavor text. And I the same way that I love the flavor text on Tragic Slip, which was, I believe, linger on death's door and risk being invited in. Like, it's just, I love it. I don't know why, but I do. Opponent plays a Chitter Spitter. They make a Squirrel. And they are going to Bone Shards to kill Amoeba, sacking the Squirrel token. Okay. Opponent goes to combat. They attack. Kill a Wave Sifter. No blocks. Take 2. And then they replay Rift Sower. We untap. Draw Swamp. So, go to combat. Attack them for 3 in the air. Play Vermin Gorger. Play Scuttletide. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Chitter Spitter trigger. They don't sack anything, they draw. They play a Junk Winder, so they can use that to tap out our guys. And they do have a token engine, so they can make a token every turn. But I imagine they can only make 1 token this turn. They make a Squirrel. Junk Winder is going to tap Vermin Gorger. Okay. When it goes to combat, attacks for 2 in the air. This is fine. We go to 13. We untap. Draw Swamp. So, go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent is going to grant Junk Winder flying. Okay, they can block the Imp. It sucks, but it's not the end of the world. They go to 8. Pass the turn. Opponent can sack a token to put a counter. They don't. Opponent plays a Wave Sifter. So they get to investigate twice. We're going to tap down our Vermin Gorger and our Prowler. So ditch a Swamp. Make a Crab. Pay a life. Draw a card. Get an island. Not really what we wanted. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks for a lot. Block here. Take 3. Go to 9. Yeah, because they have a repeatable token value and they can continually tap us out, we have no way to deal with that Junk Winder. Let's see, Murktide Regent. Problem is, Murktide Regent doesn't actually do anything. My opponent just taps it out. And then they're going to swing lethal. Delve out Murktide Regent. As a 5/5. Play out an island. Pass the turn. We can make 1 crab. Opponent makes a token, taps the Regent. Cracks a clue to draw. Maybe I shouldn't have just... maybe I shouldn't have shown them that. Maybe I should have just... I feel my morning caffeine wearing off. Opponent makes a token. Taps our only blocker. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. So versus my opponent, I think I'm just gonna run it back. I was thinking about dropping Said and Done for Recalibrate, but I don't have a lot of sorceries that I can get into the grave for the couple of Delirium payoffs we had. We just didn't have the best hand. This hand should work. We'll keep. It's a bit slow, but we do have some interaction. Start Goldmire Bridge, pass the turn. When it plays a forest, we draw a Kitchen Imp, play an island, pass the turn. They play an Ornithopter of Paradise, which I am going to kill because that's fixing that they probably need. We untap, draw a swamp, play a swamp, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Chitter Spitter. We untap, draw Vermin Gorger, play an island, ditch the Imp, Madness, go to combat, attack for 2. Plays a forest and passes. We draw Tragic Fall, so play a swamp, go to combat, attack for 2. Opponent no blocks. I'm gonna play Foul Watcher, I think. I think at most I'm gonna need Tragic Fall this turn, and I can save Dihada's Ploy plus Recalibrate for a later turn. Island. I think land into the grave here. Pass the turn. Opponent makes a squirrel. They untap. No sack. They draw. They play a Ghostlit Drifter. And are passing. So, fall the Drifter. We untap. Draw Guiltblade Prowler. Go to combat. Attack, attack. So if my opponent plays Junkwinder, I want to have the biggest board possible. So we'll play the Vermin Gorger and the Guiltblade Prowler here. Opponent makes another token. We untap. They don't sack a token. They play a land. They make a token. They play Junkwinder, but they're not tapping anything this turn. So we untap, draw Swamp. Let's go ahead and Dihada's Ploy, ditching the Swamp. Draw 2 cards. I have to ditch the Mongrel, but I can't pay for the cost, which sucks. So play a Swamp. Pay a life and draw. Recalibrate. Make them pick up their Junkwinder. Go to combat. Swing. Hit our opponent for 3. Take him to 10. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Counter on Chitter Spitter. Make the other ones 2/2s. They replay Junkwinder. This time they will have a tap available. They're going to attack for 4. This is fine. We untap. Draw another Guiltblade Prowler. Move to combat. Opponent will tap the Kitchen Imp by making a squirrel. We can hit them for 1. They go to 9. Play a land. Play the Prowler. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Presumably, I think they sack a squirrel so they can attack past the 2/3s. Opponent plays a forest. Orchard Strider. Make some foods. We're going to tap down a lot of our guys. So Vermingorger and the Imp. Well, considering the Imp is not going to untap anytime soon, we should probably just sack the Imp. They make another token, they'll tap a Prowler. Yeah, I think if you can get Acorn Spitter and a Junk Winder in a deck, you're probably set. Big issue is we don't have any hard removal here. So we're taking 11. Untap. Go to combat. Attack them for 1. We can play a Loathsome Curator, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We have to exploit the Crow. Kill a token. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Make a Squirrel. They're going to tap our sack outlet immediately. Interesting. Pretty sure if they just tap here, they can just swing lethal. They don't even need to do anything else. Well, they can force us to chump. I don't know why they don't just attack out there. So we got a trade here. We'll take 4 and go to 5. Alright, that's game. Oh, actually, that shouldn't have been, because I could have discarded this island and drawn 2 cards for basically all of my mana. Yeah, we weren't drawing anything that would have mattered, though. So, we don't have an answer to that Junk Winder. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright. We are on the draw for round 2. We'll keep this hand. Opponent leads on an island. We draw a swamp, play a swamp, pass the turn. Opponent plays a mountain into a Raving Visionary. Play an island, play Vermingorger. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a swamp, plays a Burdened Aerialist, and gets a treasure. No attacks. We draw Lazotep Chancellor. We will be playing the Chancellor this turn. Okay. Pass the turn. They untap. They loot, ditching a mountain. They play a tap land. No attacks. We untap. We draw a swamp. Play an island. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. So we're going for a Dihada's ploy on their end step. They're going to loot with Raving Visionary, ditching an island. Okay. On their end step, Dihada's ploy, ditch an island, pay 1, amass 2. We untap, draw Goldmire Bridge, play a swamp. Let's go ahead and Loathsome Curator, exploit the army, kill the aerialist. I know the other one is potentially more dangerous, but go to combat. I'm going to attack with the Vermingorger and leave the Lazotep Chancellor behind. Lazotep Chancellor is how we're going to keep continually gaining advantage. Opponent has fire, so they kill Vermingorger. They untap. So 7 mana, Aethersworn Sphinx. Cascades into Counterspell. Surprisingly, they don't cast it. Alright, opponent passes. We untap, we draw Mistvault Bridge. Go to combat. Attack for 5. They can double block if they want to. They don't. They take 5. Play a swamp. Time to get greedy. Pass the turn. Opponent draws. They go to combat. They attack us for 4. This is fine. Take 4, go to 17. They're going to So Shiny to prevent our guy from untapping. Okay. They don't control any tokens, so they can't do any drawing. On their end step, Greed. Get World Weary. Greed. Get Archfiend of Sorrow. Untap. We draw Aeromoeba. Let's play So I could actually cast Archfiend of Sorrow and kill their Raving Visionary. Then I'd have a 4/5 flyer that can block their flyer. It's not bad. Just basically Massacre Worm them. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. They play a battle plan. Okay, well if they battle plan the Sphinx and attack, we will block. So they'll probably trade and then kill the Chancellor here. Losing the Chancellor sucks, but this is fine. We untap, draw Lose Focus. World Weary the Sphinx. Play Mistvault Bridge, pass the turn. Opponent plays a tap land and has nothing. Alright, Greed. We untap. Draw Batterbone. Play an island. Play Aeromoeba. Play Batterbone. Living Weapon. Pass the turn. So we basically are holding a Convolute right now. Opponent plays an Ornithopter of Paradise. Well, I can't say that's very intimidating. Okay. Greed. Greed. Untap. We draw. Swamp. Play a Swamp. Get back the Demon to clear a path. Go to combat. Attack, attack, attack. Ditch Hellmongrel. Madness. Okay. Game's over. Greed drew us so many cards there, it wasn't even funny. It kind of feels like Recalibrate is going to be good against our opponent. It also shows how important that Lazotep Chancellor, like, we have Lazotep Chancellor, and I probably should be playing these other Dihadas ploys. I think I undervalued them in round one. Because, like, I kind of missed the fact that it gains you life, which we do need because we're playing Greed. I think I'm going to cut Lose Focus versus this opponent for another Dihadas ploy, and we're going to try it like this. Okay. We've got all of our colors of mana and stuff to do, so we might as well keep. Opponent leads on a mountain and passes. We draw a Swamp, play the bridge, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a bridge. We untap, draw Hellmongrel, play a Swamp. Play the Watcher. Surveil. Vermingorger can go into the grave. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a mountain. Gets an Ethereum Spinner. Well, that has to die immediately, I think. Draw Recalibrate. Play an island. Tragic Fall. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Opponent goes to 19. They untap. They play an island. They play Raving Visionary. We untap. We draw Batterbone. Play an island. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Cast Hellmongrel. This will let us get... this will let us turn on our Recalibrates as well as Delirium here. Opponent passes. We untap. We draw Goldmire Bridge. Alright, well, activate Delirium. Bounce this Visionary and draw a card. They loot in response. Madnessing Revolutionist. Which will let them pick up Mental Journey. Okay, we draw a card. World Weary. Recalibrate. Bounce the Revolutionist 2. Get Greed. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Take them to 11. If we draw land, we have World Weary to kill something. If we don't, and they play 2 creatures, we can just frost both of them and swing. If we draw a land, I think I might just start setting up Greed, because we haven't taken a single point of damage yet. Opponent plays Burdened Aerialist. and Sea Drake, picking up some lands. 2 islands. Okay. We untap. Draw a swamp. Play the swamp. Frost their guys. Go to combat. Attack for 6. I'm doing this because my opponent just bounced 2 of their own lands. If my opponent can only play 1 blocker next turn and we can kill it with World Weary, they're dead. So we know they have Raving Visionary and the Anarchist effect that I can never remember the name of. Revolutionist. They play an Aeromoeba, and they play Raving Visionary. We untap. Well, we can't kill both, unfortunately. Draw an island. Play an island. We are going to go for the World Weary play. Killing Aeromoeba. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Opponent has to block the dog. They take 2, they lose their other guy, they go to 3. And now they're forced to be on defense. Unless they have a lot of really powerful answers in hand, which I doubt. Okay, opponent plays a Sojourner's Companion and passes. We untap. Draw Guiltblade Prowler. Play Greed. Let's try and greed ourselves a land. Perfect. Play the land. Now I can either play Batterbone, or I can just greed more cards. I think I play Batterbone this turn. Okay. Pass the turn. If we draw our other Tragic Fall, I'm pretty sure my opponent dies. No, that's not true. Opponent plays a Master of Death, Surveilling. Then they play the Storm God's Oracle and pass. We untap, draw Lazotep Chancellor, greed. We get an island. Let's play the Chancellor. And I think we pass now. Actually, if I attack with Hellmongrel, I can force them to block with something. Although it probably works out pretty poorly for us, so I'm just going to wait. We can discard and amass at instant speed. Opponent attacks us for 1, no blocks. They pump it up. Pump it up. They hit us for 3, we go to 13. Okay, they're going to kill Storm God's Oracle to kill the Chancellor. So in response, greed. Get Murktide Regent. Okay. Ditch our island. Amass. Do I want to greed again? I am going to greed again here. Get an island. Ditch our Guiltblade Prowler. Amass. Okay. So we lose our Chancellor. They play another Burdened Aerialist. They make a token. We untap. Draw a swamp. So move the equipment over here. Go to combat. Attack for a lot. Opponent blocks for 7. So even if I discarded my whole hand, I lose my guy. That's fine. So we kill the Companion and the Master of Death. Gain 5, go to 14. Play a swamp. Delve. So delve Tragic Fall, recalibrate, recalibrate. We're going to get rid of all of our instants and sorceries out of the grave because we've already gotten rid of one of their... We've already gotten rid of our only way to buy back those things. So play Murktide Regent, it's huge. Pass the turn. Now we can suit up Murktide Regent with Batterbone. Opponent pays 1 life and goes to 2. Opponent is spending all of their mana on an Aethersworn Sphinx. They give their Aerialists flying. They cascade into Sojourner's Companion. Okay, so they get a 4/4. Their guys have flying. They're dead now, right? No, okay, because they have Aethersworn Sphinx. If we draw an answer in our next however many draws we can greed, they're probably going to die, because we just need to kill one of their flyers and then we have lethal. Oh, I forgot to greed. Oh well. Archfiend of Sorrows doesn't quite do it. So Greed. Dihada's Ploy. Greed again. Tragic Fall. So if I kill the Sea Drake and attack with the Foul Watcher and Murktide Regent, they lose? Is that right? I think so. Kill Murktide Regent. Or kill Sea Drake, not Murktide Regent. Rain, please. So go to combat and attack here and here. I'm thankful we did not drop below Delirium count, otherwise this would not be lethal. I could have played a land and equipped Batterbone, which would have technically been better, but... Alright, we won the match. See you guys in round 3. Alright, we're on the draw for round 3, and we need to draw blue mana, but if we do, this hand is actually somewhat decent, and we can last a little while without it. So I will keep. We untap, draw Archfiend of Sorrows, start with our tapped Black Source, pass the turn. When it plays another Plains and plays a Fairground Patrol, we draw an island, play the island, play Foul Watcher, Surveil, Vermin Gorger, into the grave, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, they go to combat, attack for 2, no blocks. We untap and draw an island, play a swamp, go to combat, attack for 1, and pass the turn. So opponent missed a land drop. Okay, they play a swamp this time, they go to combat, attack for 2, no blocks, we'll take 2. Okay, on their end step, Tragic Fall, untap, draw another swamp, play an island, go to combat, attack for 1. They go to 18, pass the turn. Opponent did not... Oh, they can only activate this as a sorcery. I see. They play a swamp. Turok's Canticle. I mean, we actually don't really care if they make us discard any of these cards. One of them has Madness, the other one has Unearth, and the third one has Jumpstart. I suppose they can make us discard a land, and then we discard a card at random. So, Madness. Get a Kitchen Imp. Okay, on my opponent's end step. Dihada's Ploy, ditching a swamp. Gain a bunch of life. We untap, draw Lazotep Chancellor, play a swamp. Play a Guiltblade Prowler. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent plays a Hellmongrel. Alright, that is not particularly impressive. We untap, draw a swamp. So, Dihada's Ploy, ditch a swamp. Then discard... I think we don't need the Chancellor this game, actually. Ditch the Chancellor. Recalibrate. Draw Tragic Fall, go to combat. I could draw an extra card here, but I think the extra damage is worth it this turn. Yeah, we're kind of playing a tempo game right now. But it goes down to 10. They untap. Opponent pitches Landscaper Kolos to get a Plains. They play a Plains. Then Piercing Rays, they kill Kitchen Imp. We untap and draw Lose Focus. So, go to combat. Attack for 3, and we're just going to leave up Lose Focus. Well, technically Lose Focus and Tragic Fall. We have lethal by unearthing the Archfiend, so as long as my opponent taps out for a blocker, which they should. Opponent has Piercing Rays. I don't think we actually care about losing the 2-3. Then they make a Thopter. I don't think we care about the Thopter either. We draw Said and Done. Let's go ahead and unearth. Kill the Thopter. Go to combat. Attack for 5. Take them to 2. And if they just play blockers and don't have an answer for Foul Watcher, we can frost the blockers and kill them with Foul Watcher, because we'll have Delirium. They scour the desert, making a bunch of 1/1s. By a bunch, I mean a bunch. We draw an island, play an island, play a 5/4. We will not be exploiting. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play Hellmongrel, so make them lose focus. Opponent passes. We untap. We draw Archfiend of Sorrows, and that should be game. The old second Massacre Worm. And we win. Alright. So against black-white, huh? I think we're okay to drop Scuttletide to bring in Dihada's Ploy. And we'll try like that. Alright, we're on the draw. This hand is pretty good. We'll keep. Opponent leads on a swamp. We draw Tragic Fall, so we lead on a swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a second swamp. Play an island. Pass the turn. Now we have Recalibrate or Tragic Fall, depending on which is better. Opponent cycles World Weary for a Plains. They untap. They play a Plains. They play a Batterbone. Okay. I think I'll bounce the Germ token. We don't mind getting some extra instants and sorceries into the grave because of Murktide Regent. Draw Foul Watcher. Play a Swamp. Play the Foul Watcher. I'll keep a land if I find one. Said and Done's going to go into the grave because it's 2 card types. Opponent plays a Swamp. Turok's Canticle. They're going to take Murktide Regent 100%. That card will be way too strong and difficult to answer otherwise. They make us ditch Dihada's Ploy. We untap. We draw Guiltblade Prowler. Play the Prowler. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Take them to 19. Pass the turn. Opponent cycles Landscaper Kolos. Gets a Plains. Then plays a Cabal Initiate and a land. We untap and draw Lazotep Chancellor. So I think what we're going to do here is Dihada's Ploy and try and find a land. Okay. Ditch a swamp. Play a swamp. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Take them to 17. Then on their end step, pay a life and draw. A Vermin Gorger. Well, on our end step anyway. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Breathless Knight. Attacks us for 2. No blocks. We untap. Draw an island. Tragic Fall the Knight. Play an island. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Then we'll play the Lazotep Chancellor. Pass the turn. They play a land. They might just be equipping the Chancellor this turn, which wouldn't be all bad for us. Or, not the Chancellor, the Cabal Initiate. I don't know if I need a nap or what the deal is, but I am, like, losing my grip on reality right now, just not able to say the right card names, which is funny, because I'm doing better in this draft than I have been in previous drafts. Okay, opponent suits up the Cabal Initiate. That's fine. Take 3, they gain 3. No blocks. We untap. Draw Mistvault Bridge. So, Dihada's Ploy. Discard Kitchen Imp. Pay 1 to amass 2. Pay 1 to get a 2/2 flyer. Then we draw 2 and discard. Yeah, discard Archfiend of Sorrows. Gain life, we have no way to pay for that. Go to combat. Attack, attack. And attack, because it's got haste. Well, I technically would have been able to hardcast Archfiend of Sorrows. I think I would rather unearth it next turn. Play the Mistvault Bridge. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a land. Opponent plays a Soul of Migration, hardcast. They are not attacking with Cabal Initiate. Alright. Got a feeling they're going to be a little bit sad about what's about to happen. So, Archfiend of Sorrow. Kill their whole team and shrink the rest. Remove their lifelink. Go to combat. And right-click attack all. Or as my chat likes to say, flunge. Math is for blockers. Opponent takes some amount of damage. Goes to 1. Alright. Play Vermin Gorger so we don't even have to attack. Pass the turn. We lose our Unearthed guy. They untap. They would have to have a dam here. They play Archfiend of Sorrows, which kills everything but our Chancellor and our Guiltblade Prowler, which still kills them. Ah, yes, the perks of having 2/3 toughness creatures. So Moto's lagging a lot. Okay. Kano passes. We draw a Prowler, go to combat. And unless their last card in hand is Solitude, they're dead. And we get there. Finishing with another respectable 2-1. And yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. And remember, you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The last few times have been earlier than that. And, yeah. I've been having a lot of fun playing Modern Horizons 2. I hope it's not too samey. I've been recording these way out in advance, so I'm probably way better at this format by the time you're watching this video. So if you want to get all of the latest up-to-date Modern Horizons 2 strategy and you want to talk to me directly, feel free to join the Discord. The link is in the description below. We got a lot of fun people in there hanging out, brewing decks, and just in general being silly. If you've watched any of my stream VODs on this channel, you'll know that my chat is pretty hilarious, and my Discord is like that every day of the week. So, alright. I'll see you guys later. Bye! I'm gonna go drink some caffeine. Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to my patrons for the month of June. If you want to have your name show up in this list, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description below. Thank you all.